Welcome back. Well, we are entering day 10 of the government shutdown. Democrats and Republicans are deadlocked on how to reopen the government as another round of votes failed on the Senate floor yesterday. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, meanwhile, is suggesting that his party is exactly where it wants to be. He told Punchbowl News, "Every day gets better for us," quote unquote. As the doors stay shut in Washington, Schumer is doubling down on the remarks on the Senate floor yesterday. Watch this.
Each day, our case to fix health care and end the shutdown gets better and better, stronger and stronger, because families are opening their letters, showing how high their premiums will climb if Republicans get their way.
Vice President J.D. Vance, meanwhile, responded on X, writing this: "Better for Schumer, worse for Americans? What a vile sentiment from an alleged leader in our country." Joining me now is Texas Congressman Jodey Arrington. He is the chairman of the House Budget Committee. Mr. Chairman, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here this morning. I want to get your take on the impact of this. I know, by the way, you are withholding your paycheck until the end of the shutdown. Thank you for that. It's a big message to others. But I want to get your take on so far what has been the impact.
Well, we're going to see an impact on the economy. Obviously, it's a waste of tax dollars to furlough people who are not productive and doing their job, but will receive back pay. That's the right thing to do. And then you're going to have services that will be denied to some of our most vulnerable, from veterans to the women and infant and children's program and various programs throughout the federal government. So the cost is significant and widespread. And, you know, it was a reckless decision, obviously, by Chuck Schumer, a political miscalculation in the long run, but one that he decided to reject a clean CR, which I don't know that he's ever rejected in his career. Certainly, he didn't 14 times under the leadership of Joe Biden and the Democrats in the Senate and the House. So all to counteroffer $1.5 trillion in spending, gutting safeguards to prevent the waste, fraud, and abuse that's rampant in our federal budget, to prevent monies from flowing to people in this country illegally and drain the safety net, among others, including, by the way, expanding a failed government health care program in Obamacare and allowing tax subsidies to go to wealthy people. And a program, by the way, that CBO states has had 2.5 million people receiving those subsidies who were ineligible, and 40% of the people on the program don't even know they're on the program because the subsidies flow to the insurance company. So a lot of problems here with his counteroffer, but ultimately it's about politically placating the left for him, not about the best interest of the American people.
That is really too bad. But the next steps here, we're all watching military pay and what happens there. We've got an October 13th deadline for action there because the payment is going to be issued, or supposed to be issued, on October 15th. So if the military misses that paycheck, that's going to have a serious impact. Are you expecting a standalone vote in Congress on military pay?
Well, I'm expecting that Chuck Schumer comes to his senses because of the political pressure that is being felt by his colleagues in the House and the Senate back in their districts, and that we will restore their pay and the pay of the DEA agents on the front lines of our war on drug trafficking along the southern border, our Homeland Security personnel. There are a lot of folks that will be denied pay, not just our troops. So, of course, I would support a standalone bill to support our troops, but the easiest path to success for our nation is to stop the needless posturing and vote for the clean CR so we can start negotiating a bipartisan end-of-the-year funding like we do every year. This is regular order. It's just not standard business for Democrats these days,
right.
Obviously.
Well, look, the Trump administration is trying to do whatever it can to move money around, and I guess the Farm Bill also expired on October 1st. What are your thoughts in terms of the president using tariff revenue? What other option can be done? Can the White House repurpose some of the $150 billion in Pentagon funding, which was approved by Congress already in the one big, beautiful bill, Is there wiggle room there in terms of paying the military during all of this?
I think the president is looking at all of his options to resource those operations that have the biggest impact to national security and public safety, starting with our troops. So he's looking at ways to mitigate what will be a painful experience next week if the Democrats don't change course and decide to go ahead and take this nonpartisan, standard current funding that they voted on multiple times last year, so that we can begin the real negotiations of end of the year funding towards the end of November. We need that runway. But yeah, the president's going to flex on resources in every way he can. But at some point, it's real pain's going to show up in the lives of our troops and, again, of our Border Patrol agents. These folks don't make a lot of money. They do it because of their call to duty, but they have to put food on their table and provide for their families. So it's going to be a very difficult position we're going to put them in if we don't operate with good, mature leadership in the Senate by our colleague Chuck Schumer.
All of this as China is now putting the squeeze on the U.S. when it comes to rare earth minerals, coming up with new sweeping restrictions on exporting these rare earth minerals to the United States. We have rare earth minerals here, but we don't refine them. We need to start refining them in America. We're still reliant on China for this. What can you do about it? I mean, the Senate voted last night to add both the Biosecure Act and the Fight China Act to the National Defense Authorization Act. Both measures would block federal funding for certain Chinese biotech companies and ban U.S. investments in sensitive Chinese sectors. Last year's version of the Biosecure Act was dropped, however, from the final defense policy bill over concerns about naming specific companies, they claimed. Mr. Chairman, what is your reaction in terms of how the U.S. should be responding to China putting the squeeze on America on rare earth minerals 2 weeks before Xi Jinping is going to be meeting with President Trump on the sidelines of the APEC summit October 31st?
Well, they're going to try to play hardball, but they don't have a lot of cards. They need our market more than we need theirs. That's at least one advantage of having this trade deficit that the president is trying to address with his reciprocal trade policies. So I don't think it's sustainable for China. We need to do everything we can to counter the threat of our largest adversary in communist China. And whether that's disallowing them to buy land, or our disallowance of investment in companies in the United States that are connected to the CCP, or it's anything that might imperil our competitive race in IA or in other areas that are important to national security and our economic strength into the future. So we have to have an all-of-the-above approach, but I have confidence the president, like he did in the first administration, will bring them to the table, and America will win the day. Well,
maybe it's time to start yanking those Chinese stocks from U.S. exchanges, Congressman. You all have that lever to pull as well, and we're watching the response. Congressman, great to see you this morning. Mr. Chairman, thank you.
Thank you, Maria. Good to be with you.